Hey guys, how's it going? It's Infernomen again. Welcome back to another video, and this time I wanted to continue my series where I take a popular show or movie and give Pokemon teams to a few of the main characters. Today I will be showing you all the teams I made for characters from Steven Universe. There are so many characters in the show that I could have chosen from, but I nailed it down to Steven, Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, Connie, Peridot, and Spinel. The idea for this video and the series as a whole came from my friend Brandon, aka BB Max World, whose channel will be in the description of this video. I give myself a few rules for these videos, so I will remind you of those rules now. The first rule is to make sure every character has a full team of 6. I want to represent each character to the fullest, so giving them 2 Pokemon is not enough. The next rule is to not use too many Pokemon based on appearance. Saying that a certain Pokemon looks like a character is just an opinion, as I want my teams to be accurate to the character's personality and features. Finally, only 1 legendary is allowed per team, but mythicals do not count as long as they have nothing to do with appearance. Just a warning before I begin, this will go over things that happen over the course of the whole show, so if you haven't seen every episode and the movie, I'd advise you to click away for now. With that all out of the way, let me present to you my teams for Steven Universe. To start off the list, of course I'd want to showcase who I gave to Steven. If you're familiar with the plot of Steven Universe, then you understand how Steven is the son of, spoiler alert, Pink Diamond, who disguised herself as a rose quartz. Because of this and the fact that Steven's hair is based off of a rose, I gave Steven a Roselia. For the next Pokemon in Steven's team, I gave him a Pokemon that also connects to his mother. When you think of pink diamonds in Pokemon, you might make a connection to the mythical Pokemon Diancie. If I was giving Pink Diamond a team, Diancie would of course reserve a spot on that team. Because of that, I gave Steven a Carbink, a Pokemon designed to have a connection to Diancie, and plays the role of Diancie's butler in the 17th movie, Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction. That last reason might have made it more logical to be on Pearl's team, but overall I think Steven deserves it more. If you've at least seen the first episode of the show, you most likely will recall the presence of Cookie Cat. In a later episode, Cookie Cat returns but as an evil cat. As an ode to Steven's favorite frozen treat, I gave him a male Meowstic, as it's the closest designed cat Pokemon to Cookie Cat. One of Steven's powers is to use a bubble shield to protect himself in battle. It started off as a small bubble and then became an actual shield. Because of this, I decided to give Steven a Mr. Mime, because not only would the shield connect to Mr. Mime's barrier, but it would give him a playful Pokemon to match his personality. Another ability Steven has is healing others with his saliva. If you watched my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure edition of the series, you might recall me giving Josuke, whose stand has the ability to heal others, Jirachi. Because of that similarity, I gave Steven a Jirachi as well. Last but not least, Steven's final Pokemon is Solgaleo. Steven has a pet lion named, well, Lion, whose mane is a portal that can bring anyone, mainly Steven, into a field where he keeps personal things, or later in the series Lars' hair. Solgaleo can open portal through dimensions and space, so I thought this would be a perfect Pokemon for Steven. One thing I'd like to mention is that after the time skip that happens between the Season 5 finale and the movie and Steven gets older, his Roselia evolves into Roserade to symbolize growth and maturity. Moving on to the first Crystal Gem name said in the theme song, Garnet, the first Pokemon I gave to her is Lucario. Not only is Garnet the strongest fist fighter on the Crystal Gems, but Lucario's aura reading powers reminds me of the calm and collected vibe that we usually see from her. One of the cutest things that happens with Garnet is when she gets her cat, which she names Cat Steven, and because of this I gave her the best kitten Pokemon Litten. I know that Skitty might have also worked considering it looks a lot like Cat Steven as well, but Litten is the first form of my mascot, so don't judge me. Moving on back to Garnet's fist-fighting components, I gave her a Scizor who can Mega Evolve. Mega Scizor's fists increase in size when it Mega Evolves, and so do Garnet's when she's in combat. For her next Pokemon, this one will connect to other Crystal Gems. After Steven's mom died, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl basically became 3 mother figures for Steven since Rose or Pink Diamond wouldn't be there for him. If you watch the Pokemon anime as much as I have, you might recall that every bear Pokemon has been represented as a parent, mostly a mother, to a cub, or the first form of the evolutionary line. Because of these 2 connecting factors, I have decided to give each of the gems a bear Pokemon, starting off with Garnet, who has a Pangoro because of it being the fighting type of the 3, and being seen as chill, very much like Garnet. The next Pokemon on Garnet's team is a suggestion from Brandon, who said he regretfully didn't think of this for his video. Garnet is a fusion of Ruby and Sapphire, 2 smaller gems that fuse because of their love for each other. As you might expect, Ruby is red and Sapphire is blue. You know who else comes in red and blue? If you guessed Gastrodon, you are correct. I know that female Gastrodon is technically pink, but pink is just red with white mixed in with it, so let's not nitpick here. Not only is there a color similarity, but just like Garnet, Gastrodon has 3 eyes. What does Garnet do with this third eye, you may ask? The third eye is Sapphire's only eye, and Sapphire has the ability to see the future with it, which comes in handy when the most dangerous beings in the universe are after you and your team. Who else has the ability to see the future? Celebi, of course. That's why Celebi takes the 6th and final spot on Garnet's team. Moving on to the next gym, Amethyst's first Pokemon is a Munchlax. Amethyst is usually eating something, no matter if it's food or a random object, even though gems don't need food to survive. I was thinking about giving Amethyst Snorlax because not only does she eat a lot, but she's also very lazy. But I decided to split those two features up and give her Munchlax for her eating habits and slacking for her laziness. The next Pokemon I gave to Amethyst is Gengar because she's playful, mischievous at times, and loves playing with Steven, mostly video games. I also gave her Sableye to represent her purple skin and the gem that's placed in her chest. Amethyst also does a lot of shape-shifting in battle, so I gave her Ditto. I consider Mew for this spot, but since Gengar already takes up the playful qualities of this gem, I decided to go for Ditto. The last Pokemon in Amethyst's team is Ursaring, which is the bear I chose for her team. This is the only bear out of the 3 I picked up that seemed fitting enough to symbolize Amethyst in any way, so that's really the only reason why she received this on her team. The ring on Ursaring's chest could match with her gem, but that's a very loose connection, so we'll just say that Amethyst gets Ursaring to match Pearl and Garnet. The final crystal gem to receive a team is the super protective mother of the trio, Pearl. I was trying to find a Pokemon that has pearls to represent, well, Pearl, and I was originally thinking of Clamperl or even Gorbis, which would match her nose. Then I thought back to my rules and thought there were most likely better Pokemon to take the appearance spot. Instead, I gave her Primarina, who not only wears a pearl necklace and wears a hair tie made out of pearls, but is known as the soloist Pokemon, which could be an ode to the musical theme of the show. The next Pokemon I gave to Pearl was Meloetta, and since Pearl is very elegant and sometimes dances like a ballerina, I gave her the Pirouette form. The next 2 Pokemon on her team represent Pearl's usage of swords. Originally I had Gardevoir on Pearl's team, because let's be honest, it looks like Pearl, but after adding Meloetta, I took a step in the other direction and gave her Gallade to represent her sword usage. To add to this factor, I gave her the Pokemon that is actually based on a sword, Aegislash. Of course, Honedge and even Doublade could work since they are only swords, but I think an Aegislash does just fine. The next Pokemon on Pearl's team is Pikipek. There are a few Pokemon that could easily represent Pearl's hair and nose, such as Cresselia and Leavanny for the hair specifically, but I went with Pikipek since the Pokemon is based off a woodpecker, an animal that is known specifically for its beak. Lastly, the bear Pokemon I gave to Pearl is Beartick. Beartick works best for this slot because Pearl's color scheme is made up of white and light shades of blue, which is exactly what Beartick's color scheme is. The next person to get a Pokemon team is Steven's friend who later became his girlfriend, Connie. Just to get it out of the way, early in the show Connie has an Eevee and a Zubat. I will get back to my reasons why later. Just sit tight. Connie obtains a sword made by Bismuth later on in the show, and I believe since she's a smaller person with such a large sword, Sirfetch'd would fit perfectly on her team. Because of her connection with Steven, I wanted to give Connie a lion Pokemon, just not Solgaleo, just because that would confuse things. Instead, I gave her Pyroar, which I chose instead of Luxray because Luxray doesn't have a full mane, while a male Pyroar does. Since Connie is Steven's girlfriend, I wanted to give her a Pokemon that can use Attract. Since Beautifly is the first Pokemon in Pokédex order that can learn it by level up, I gave her one. In one episode, Steven is having a picnic with Connie after Amethyst got badly injured. Before Steven tells Connie the story, he trades the rest of his juice box with her so he can wear her glasses. Long story short, Connie's able to see without her glasses because Steven finds out that his saliva can heal people. Because of this, her Zubat, a Pokemon without eyes, evolves into Golbat because Golbat gains eyes for Zubat, and then quickly afterwards it evolves into Crobat. Later on in the show, Connie gets into an argument with her mom about how she never notices her anymore, and other things that I won't really get into. One thing she mentions, however, is how she never realized that Connie hadn't had lenses in her glasses for months because of Steven curing her eyesight. Afterwards, her mom promises to be there for her more often, and because of this, her Eevee evolves into Sylveon. Lastly, I gave Connie Kyurem because she is the first person to ever fuse with Steven, becoming a very important part of the show because it reveals that gem-human hybrids can fuse with humans. The next person to get a team is everyone's favorite villain turned protagonist, Peridot. In the beginning, Peridot wore a suit that was tall, giving everyone the illusion that she was tall as well. After the gems took her down for the final time, it was revealed that she was much tinier than we thought. I gave her 3 Pokemon to represent this. Hatterene, a Pokemon that is very tiny but seems big because of its body-like hair. A shiny Scizor that can Mega Evolve like Garnet, which she only gets because it's green. And Reuniclus, a see-through Pokemon that has extended limbs. For appearance, I gave Peridot a Leavanny since it's green and it has a triangle-shaped head. I gave her a Pumpkaboo because of Veggie Head, Peridot and Lapis' pet sentient pumpkin. Lastly, I gave Peridot Mewtwo because they were both species that mistrusted humans at first, but after a major plot point became accustomed to human life and had to get used to living on Earth. Which for Mewtwo it's not as crazy or complicated as living on Earth, but you get my point, right? The last character to receive a team is Spinel, the main villain of Steven Universe the movie. Spinel's backstory is tragic, as she was made specifically to be friends with Pink Diamond. After Pink abandoned Spinel after promising to return hundreds of years prior, Spinel becomes a dark gem full of hatred. Since Spinel has these two sides of her past, I gave her Morpeko, a Pokemon who is happy in one form and angry in the other. Spinel's gem is shaped like a heart, so I decided to give her Swoobat, a Pokemon with a heart-shaped nose. Spinel gets her name from having spring-like arms and being able to bounce all over the place, being part of her playful side. Because of this, I gave her Spoink, since it is the Pokemon that has to keep bouncing or it will die. Because of Spinel's past of being abandoned in a garden, I decided to give her a Florges since the Pokemon's whole body is like a garden. Because of her cheerful mood and constant smile, I decided to give her Berserker, a Pokemon that is constantly smiling. Last but not least, I gave her Deoxys because of her extendable arms, which are very similar to Deoxys' tentacle arms, which can extend and be used in battle. Well guys, there you have it. Those are the teams I gave for characters in Steven Universe. Let me know if you agree with any of my choices and let me know in the comments if there are any Pokemon you would swap out. My goal for the next video is to make teams for characters in My Hero Academia. That's going to be it for this video, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified about future videos on my channel. This is Infernomen burning out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.